Well, we're here on Paul, Mark, and the tech guy, and as usual, our tech is mucking up, but that's all good. That's what we're all about. We're about high tech or low tech, but we're very excited about tonight. We're a bit angry about a few things tonight, bit angry, bit upset, and bit passionate, and we've got some great people to join us, especially my old mate, Graeme Blore. Good to see you tonight, Graeme.
Yeah, you too, Mark and Paul. Thanks very much for having me on.
Well, it's going to be a big show, huge show today. Lots going on out there, and Paul Curry, he's looking after the techs tonight, so who knows where that's going to go. The tech man is missing in action, but he'll be joining us later. But there's lots going on. We're going to try and change the world tonight, although there's been a lot of bad news happening, a lot of sad news happening. So I don't know how we're going to get a positive start to the show or a positive show, but I suppose we're being positive that we want to engage and we want to make a difference, Paul.
Exactly right there, Mark. And it's great to be back in the chair. Forgive me for that little bit of a tech challenge, and I think I'm hoping that we're actually live here in 989 from Glenroy. I know we're on Facebook, so that's fine. Check us out, Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, it's Paul, Mark, and the tech guy. There's lots to cover tonight, Marcus. And as I said, it's great to be in the chair. I know you're very enthusiastic, and I know you got a massive rant. But I just want you to hold your horses a little bit just to settle down.
Well, I've got to hold my horses, mate, but I do got a lot to talk about. I do want to give this thing out to the show because, believe it or not, the internet is actually working tonight. So that's a real big bonus. We've got a lot of other technical problems all over the place, but we have got internet. So, you know, you got to have these small wins you can get in life, isn't there, Graeme?
Yeah, it's all relative, isn't it? It really is, yeah.
That's right, mate. Now, why don't we introduce the great man, Graeme Blore. He's unbelievable, mate. Member of the God Squad, member of the community out there in Cairnlea. And we've got a big thing tonight about the old Cairnlea, mate. But before we get into Cairnlea, how would you describe Graeme Blore? Who are you, Graeme?
Yeah, Mark, my background is over the last 40 years I've worked in various areas. I actually started off in self-employment and ran a successful office landscaping business. And then from there, I branched out through a combination of factors, including family illness, sold the business and ended up in youth work for a number of years, which is where I met you, of course, and worked in youth training centres and helping deputy manager of a youth hostel and a variety of roles in that regard, and then ended up in government. And the last 17 years of my working life till I retired, I worked with new and emerging communities right throughout Victoria, in fact, setting up case management supports for young people coming into Australia without any parents in Australia, working with community, NGOs, councils, government, Big Pole, education providers, whole range of people. Very exciting work and tremendously rewarding.
No, you made a great difference but mate, you retired, and most people that retire go in the garden or go in the golf range or go overseas on lots of holidays or basically not do too much. But you're not like that, mate. You've been probably working harder since you retired than when you're working.
Yeah, it's the old saying, isn't it? Hey, better to burn out than to rust out.
Well, you're an incredible man, Graeme, and the community is very, very privileged and blessed and lucky to have a man like you out there making a difference. I mean, I see you in action with the Melbourne Youth Bus on a Friday night, cooking the sausages, feeding the poor, feeding whoever's coming up for a snag, and we got a variety of people there down there at St Albans at Errington Reserve on a Friday night. So we're going down the 19th of August. So if you're out there at Errington and you want a sausage, you want to catch up with a great man, Graeme, he'll be there on the barbecue as usual, doing a fantastic job, Graeme. So we do appreciate all what you do in the community, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, listeners, it's the first and third Friday of every month at Errington Reserve. So next one's 19th of September.
Yeah, look, the Melbourne Youth Bus, you know, we're not changing the world, but we are feeding a few people. We are having a few chats. We are connecting with a few people. And that's what it's all about, Graeme, isn't it? Creating community, creating that dialogue, and also helping with some basic needs.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And look, it's been a real privilege to be working with you again. I mean, your history in working with and making and allowing and building opportunities for people who are really doing it tough is just legend, absolutely incredible. And that's reflected in the awards, your honours that you've received. They've been richly deserved, mate, and I'll take my hat off to you. And listeners, this
means... look, mate, and I know this is about you tonight, mate. We're going to talk about you tonight, but you can't do anything in this world without a team.
That's right.
No one person can really make a big difference by themselves. And I really believe that you've got to, you know, it's getting other people with you, you joining other people, coming together and acting as a team. And that's why I like the Melbourne Youth Bus, mate. We're a team and we're doing things together.
Yeah, it's what it's all about, and we're very, very privileged down in Cairnlea. We've got a fantastic team of people. We're only small in numbers, by gee, we've got some talented people who are working their guts out to actually get better outcomes for the whole of Southern Brimbank, and I'll come into that in a few minutes.
Yeah, just before you get on the Cairnlea, mate, you ride this big motorbike as well, mate, huge motorbike. Now, tell us a bit about you with the God Squad as well.
Yeah, that's right. God Squad Christian Motorcycle Club. We've been around for 53 years in Melbourne and interstate, and we're overseas in 17 nations around the world, including in, for example, the Ukraine, Estonia, Northern Europe, right down and across to a small number in the USA and Michigan as well.
Oh, no, it's great, mate. It's very, very, very good. And, mate, so you really are involved in a lot of things, mate, the council stuff, community stuff, and we're on 98.9 Northwest FM tonight, and it's really the Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy show. Although we are missing Paul, we're missing the Tech Guy, but you have got me here, Mark, which is great, mate, and it's so great to have you on the show. We're going to talk about a few things later as well, you and I, because we are a little bit upset. Our captain of the Mighty Bombers looks like he wants to go to greener pastures, Graeme.
Yeah, it's a big one, obviously, for a lot of us, and for a lot of people, it's pretty disappointing when your captain announces he wants to pull up stumps. But you know what? Out of adversity, we often see opportunity, Mark, and hopefully we can see some silver lining there.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. And I think that brings me to the Cairnlea petition, mate, because I think that, sometimes in life you could just, when the going gets tough, and I'm not blaming Zach completely, but I don't think that life's all about, winning. I think sometimes you got to pick up some things and say, look, everyone's against us, but we're still going to make a stand. We're still involved. We're still here. And I don't care what you say, what you do, who you are, who you're not, I'm going to make a stand. And this is what the Cairnlea Community Petition is all about. It's about the future. It's all under threat. And it's really like David and Goliath in a lot of ways, mate. You're taking on people, and really it's not about winning or losing. And I'm sure you're going to win, but you're committed to it. You've been committed to this for years. So why don't you tell us a bit about the petition and what this is all about?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mark. And it basically boils down to an area of Cairnlea, which is an area right near Deer Park, just west of Sunshine, midwest of Melbourne, 17 k's out. And the area was Albion Explosives Factory for 50 years. And then in the late 1980s, that factory shut. The land was allegedly remediated, and I'll say more about that later. But it was opened up as an estate in stages from the year 2000 on. What's happening now, Mark, is that for their second attempt, because we actually fought against their first effort and their first plans, Development Victoria, which is an agency of state government, on the last 43 hectares of vacant land there, intend to dump, and I mean dump, 840 dog boxes into an estate in an area with a density 114% greater than surrounding areas. There's a massive number of implications in regard to it, in particular the fact that there's absolutely nothing for the community there. It's an underserviced area of the LGA, with which is the second most socio-economically disadvantaged in Greater Melbourne, and with the highest rate of gambling losses. So what Development Victoria are proposing is this housing into the estate. And I want to make it very clear, listeners, we are not against housing per se. Believe me, I've seen it firsthand, the desperate need for housing. What we are saying is this: we would like to see diversity of housing that actually encourages anyone from elderly, disabled, large families to also have an opportunity to be part of this estate, which would mean a less intense housing model. What we do want with it are facilities for the whole of community in an area that's absolutely lacking facilities. And the reason also, Mark, is that's so compelling. Viewers, listeners, this estate is a 3 to 4 minute walk from a major gambling venues. Now, the two major gambling venues nearby, collectively aware punters are losing over $102,000 a day every single day of the year.
Oh, mate, that's shocking, isn't it? Shocking stats, mate, and especially the issues we see in the community today.
Yeah.
So this is a very compelling, a no-brainer, really. What's been the response from government? Who's listening?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would hope that the local member is actually sitting up and taking notice right now, because at the last election, the swing against her was a big swing. In fact, the swings against Labor in the west of Melbourne, actually, Mark, were the highest across metropolitan Melbourne. And if they are replicated in this next state election, Labor could be in a bit of trouble. It's a very interesting situation. We're saying this area has been so badly neglected over such a long period, it actually needs significant community facilities. And I'll talk about that also in terms of when you've got facilities available, when you've got sports, recreation, low cost, recreational opportunity in community centres that actually reach out and encourage people, you build community. What we're also on about with that, and Mark, you're very much involved in setting up this sort of thing, we want to see as part of this sports, recreation, community, aquatic facility, a large social enterprise, not-for-profit cafe where we have training and meeting rooms, and we actually provide training and opportunity for long-term unemployed, for people who are disabled, and for low-risk ex-prisoners, to actually get them off that cycle of unemployment and give them a hand up into actually real jobs and real training that actually enhance outcomes for them and for the whole of the community. It's a win-win for everybody.
Well, it sounds great, mate. And how many people have signed this petition?
Well, so far, look, our numbers are steadily increasing. We've only been going just over 2 weeks, and already we're well up over 850. And listeners, hopefully we can post a link out there as well in regard to people signing, because anyone with a Victorian residential address can sign this petition, Mark, even if they're under 18. And that has been confirmed by the Legislative Council of Victoria. So an absolute guarantee. It does mean that young people can have a say in this and have a say in their future, because this is far beyond a Cairnlea issue. This is far beyond a Southern Brimbank issue. This is about the community out here gaining the right to the same sort of facilities and services that the rest of Melbourne take for granted. We're not asking for anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so just let's go over the support you've got. Who's behind you, mate? Because you're obviously a top bloke doing great things in the community, and you've got 800 people signing it. Is anyone who's been signing it that can help you, or you've got any members of government signing, or any councillors, or who's with you?
Okay, well, that's part of the problem in regard to what's going on out here, because unfortunately from Brimbank Council, they, for various reasons, they are actually having to promote an alternative, which is in what's called Energy Park in West Sunshine. Problem with the Energy Park area is that it is massively and heavily toxically polluted, and it will take a huge amount of time and a huge amount of money to get it to a state where, if ever, it can be built on. And I know for a fact the structural engineers have said in its present form it's actually dangerous to build there. The difference between Energy Park and Cairnlea, Mark, is this, that the remediation on this last part of Cairnlea is already well and truly underway and expected to be finished by the end of the year. So listeners, what that means is the plans will be announced next year by the Minister. What we're saying to the Minister and to the Labor government right now is you have a golden opportunity to actually build something that creates a significant, positive and lasting legacy for the people of the West. And I'll say this to Daniel Molino as well, our federal member and assistant treasurer, who we have met about this. Daniel, you know that it was under the federal government watch for over 50 years that this site, as the Albany Explosives Factory, became so heavily and toxically polluted. You owe it to the community to give something back. It's a moral and social obligation and imperative that would give something significant and actually change people's lives for the better.
Yeah, sounds like a very good cause. And what's Daniel have to say about it?
Well, Daniel at the moment is very difficult to get hold of. We have tried, and myself and one of the former mayors of Brimbank, Bruce Lancashire, we have had one meeting with him. We've been seeking the second meeting. Unfortunately, since the election, it seems like his diary is very full. So, Daniel, the invitation is out there. I hope your staff are listening. We really hope they are. We would love to sit down and talk with you, and also with the local sitting Labor MP at state level, Natalie Suleiman. We're actually interested in a solution for this, and they are in government, and it's a golden opportunity for them to actually display a commitment to all of the society out here, because quite frankly, at the moment, this area has been gross underserviced.
Yeah. So, all right. So then, to make this petition work, how many signatures do you need to get some attention?
Okay, Mark, we're aiming for 10,000. It's a big ask. It's a
Nice.
big ask. It's a huge ask, actually. But you know what? We're going to give it a damn good crack over the next 8 weeks or so. And it's like the words of that Tom Petty song. For listeners, some of you older folks would remember this, the song by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, I Won't Back Down. So that's the song that comes to mind here. And it's a great song.
I like
too.
that song, mate. It's a great song. And well, look, just the listeners, 98.9 Northwest FM. It's Paul, Mark, and the Tech Man Show. We've got Paul back, which is absolutely fantastic. But Paul, Milton Wild asked a good questions about where is Julio?
Yeah, good question, mate. He's ever since the AFL luncheon, I think he's lost. He's removed himself from Glenroy, mate. So look, hopefully he's going to jump on. He's a busy man. He'll be back shortly. You can jump on to 98.9 Northwest FM, Marcus and Graeme, and check us out. We've got a slight hitch going on at the moment, so we're just coming through Facebook currently, but you can certainly listen to music on the air every hour here at 98.9. It's great having you on the show, Graeme. Coming up, just to break into that, top 7 reasons why people sign petitions. So if you're wondering how are we going to get 10,000 petitions tonight, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you 7 top reasons on how to do that. And there's more to that because we're going to have to go to a couple of breaks where we don't need to do that. We can actually go straight through on Facebook. But we're going to talk in a little bit of footy, I think. Mark, you've got a couple of...
We're talking a bit of footy. We're talking a bit of footy.
Yep.
We've got a bit of
we're hoping the tech guy's going to be here, but I bet Mark's got a rant, and I tell you, this rant's going to sting. All right, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're back. We're here for tonight with Graeme Blore and Mr. Mark here in the room.
And we're going to put the link to the petition on our Facebook page after tonight's show. So if you do want to sign it, which we know you all want to sign this petition because we've got to get up to 10,000 signatures. Paul, you're going to sign it, aren't you?
I'm going to sign it. Absolutely. Send me the link. I'll give you 7 reasons why you need to sign it.
Yep, we're going to sign it. And Milton Wild, who's just put a message up where Julio is, I'm sure he's going to sign it as well. We want all our listeners tonight to sign it.
Plus you, that's 3.
And there's 2. We're getting up to 10,000. We're going to crack that. We're going to get up there, Graeme, because we want to support you, mate. I'm a little bit concerned, though, that we've got to get a bit more support. Is there, just run us through when you want this and they want that.
Yep.
And I'm not sure exactly what they want, but and I don't know who they are. But what's the thing in your mind? What's the pathway of compromise or of winning? I mean, what's the way forward for you, Graeme?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Mark, and I have just thought about that a lot, about what we actually can achieve and what would be a compromise. Look, I have to say this, all right? The reality is that Southern Brimbank is in desperate need of facilities, and Brimbank's own sporting development plan actually says this. So they actually have said themselves that there are significant health and wellbeing challenges faced by the Brimbank community. Council should advocate and seek financial support from the state and federal governments to address the high demand for sports facilities by the Brimbank community. That's verbatim. That's from Brimbank City Council's own Sports Development Plan 2018-2028, updated 2023. And Mark and Paul, what they also say, Brimbank Council themselves, is that there is a specific gap in the current provision of indoor courts in the southern part of the Brimbank municipality, where much of the future population growth is predicted. And guess what? Cairnlea's right bang smack in the heart of it. It's got the room to actually build this and to build it properly. We desperately need things for our youth to do. We're seeing our youth who are disengaged, disenchanted, disillusioned, perceiving that they've got no chance of ever being able to buy a home, and they're angry. And I don't excuse the behaviour in any way, shape, or form. I deplore the behaviour. But the way that you actually divert people away from antisocial behaviour is actually giving them opportunity, giving them real jobs, giving them training, giving them hope. Building teamwork, actually having things like basketball, soccer, indoor soccer, indoor cricket, aquatic centre, real jobs are there. When you create things like that, you create real jobs and you bring them back into the local community so people don't have the hassle of travel outside of this community. That's an essential.
Graeme, you're a fantastic voice for the community, mate, and you're really articulating yourself well. I'm still concerned that you're a bit of a lone voice, and how are we going to get other people supporting you? One way, of course, is by getting our listeners tonight to sign the petition, but not only our listeners, but our friends of our listeners and their friends and their friends' friends, because we've got to get up to 10,000 signatures. We've got to support Graeme because what he says makes sense. But, Graeme, you still haven't answered the question in some ways. How are we going to bring some action here where we're going to get some success? Is someone going to give you some support in any way? And Milton's asked me where the link is, Paul. Can we put the link out there on our chat, on our Facebook page now? Because Milton looks like he's really keen to sign, and I'm sure many others out there are going to be keen to sign as well. But so what do you think, Graeme? Just what is the road to something here?
That's a great question. I think, unfortunately, with not a background in marketing, I'm probably struggling a bit in that regard. What I can say is this, though. We actually have a number of footages of fantastic videos, and two of which have already been released. And one of them is in English and Vietnamese. It's about less than 2 minutes long, and it has voiceover along with footage over the side. So people can actually gain an understanding of what we're talking about here. These are brilliant videos. We're releasing stuff onto Instagram now. On Facebook, if you go to Cairnlea Community Group, you'll see our posts regularly on there. Brimbank Community as well, RDEER 3022, and a number of other group pages are all carrying the material and our information. We're getting out there we were in the local shopping centre all day last Saturday. We're hoping to do the same at the much larger Brimbank shopping centre in Neil Road, Deer Park. But we also need people with the marketing skills and the PR to actually help us and support us to get this message out widely. We need the community who understand this is actually for the benefit of the whole of community. The difficulty we have in Cairnlea is we have a very highly multicultural community. And of course, as you guys know, the reality is for many who've come from a non-English speaking background, they have come from areas where there is a genuine and well-founded mistrust of governments because of corruption and violence and and illegal activity. So the tendency is to want a very quiet life and to keep their heads down. But I want to say to these people this is a democracy in Australia. This is a chance for all of you to actually have a say about the future of your community, not just for yourself, but for your children and for your children's children. You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem if you do nothing. And this is our opportunity. But we need all the community to actually stand up and say, enough is enough. We're getting behind this and we're going to support this because we deserve better. And I tell you, I came out here from the eastern suburbs, and when I came out here 20 years ago, I could not believe the lack of services and facilities compared to the eastern suburbs. That's the thing. And Lani, you did right. This is the first step, at least to put a hold. It's actually a whole plan. And so what Development Victoria did is they actually completely bypassed the normal checks and balances of Brimbank Council to actually get this through and to push it and bulldoze it through. What we have done is we've actually stood firm against that, and it is a David versus Goliath battle. But that's why we need you listeners, all of you, to publicise it, to talk to your friends and neighbours, to say, hey, this ain't right. We deserve better than nothing. We're getting nothing. There's no tennis courts in Cairnlea. What, going to be 12,500 people. There's one set of junior Australian rules goalposts that are not much bigger than a matchstick, which is an insult. No hockey.
Now, Graeme, you may not realise this, but Paul Curry is a very influential, connected, powerful figure in the community. Paul,
is that right, Mark?
Think, mate? What's your thoughts about this?
Well, I think, like you've started, Graeme, what you guys are doing is just to be ongoing canvassing, campaigning, talking to the local community, getting it out there. You don't need to be experts in marketing. You've got Canva, you've got, obviously, you've got a great resource within your group, but it's getting the message out to the local traders. Maybe go and see Brothers on K, out there at Werribee and do a fundraiser night and all that sort of stuff. We introduce you to Ali and the family out there. I mean, they're great supporters of Werribee and local community and all these areas, Cairnlea and stuff. But you've just got to have a voice. And I love what Lani's saying. You've got to continue to canvass out to the market. So how do you get known? You start small, and then you just keep making some noise around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate that. And look, I do also want to acknowledge that there have been fantastic people like, for example, Paul Hopper from the West Party. Absolutely terrific. Take my hat off to Paul. He has actually been so supportive of us. And believe it or not, I also want to pay tribute to, unfortunately, he's no longer a member of the Victorian Parliament. It was a huge loss. A man called Ryan Smith, who was a Liberal MLA from Warrandyte. Okay. In 2021, it was Ryan Smith who actually came out from Warrandyte to the site here, all right, and actually met with us to see firsthand what was going on. And the Liberal Party did announce as part of their platform at that state election that they would actually support 10,000 trees being planted into this area if they won election. Now, this is another part of it, that there is a massive lack of tree canopy cover in this estate and in Brimbank as a whole and the West. It's a massive issue because it's creating a heat sink effect. And of course, high intensity housing will exacerbate that even more. What's also desperately needed here on the site and across the site are a minimum of 10,000 trees and ongoing maintenance by Development Victoria and whoever comes after them to actually look after this asset, because we desperately need these shade areas, particularly in days of high heat stress.
Absolutely.
Hey, Paul, I think you should read out what Stuart said for us.
Yeah.
Because, he seems like
it's great. Graeme is such a fantastic advocate for the local community. I am forever grateful for all the time and effort that Graeme has placed into this issue. I'm 100% behind Graeme, and thanks, Stuart, for your support. And, again, if you could tell 100 people tell another 100 and so on. So I know it's cliche, but, at the end of the day, as long as you're passionate, you've got the vision, it'll come across and, God's favour, I guess, over the situation. So, never be discouraged, but keep going. It's awesome. Thanks, Stuart. And jump online if you're watching Facebook and give us some feedback. Drop a couple of comments and messages out there. It is what time we got there, Mark? 7:31. Everything's fine there. We should be okay. Yep.
Yeah, I want to hear from Milton actually, because he's a bit of a political guy. He knows what's going on out there. What's your advice for Graeme tonight? You got any advice for Graeme, or you want to do something for Graeme? Put it on the chat, because I'm sure Graeme needs a bit of encouragement. You'd like a bit of advice. If you want to come out, Graeme, how can people get involved and help you on this really worthy cause? What can people be doing?
Okay. Yep. Look, getting in touch with us certainly through the Cairnlea Community Group, or it's reaching out to us. We probably need to do more in regard to our social media profile, and we'll work that out. But if people could keep an eye out through the pages, through Instagram as well, and if they type my name in there as well, there will be videos that come up on Instagram. And we do have links that Paul will actually post the link to the actual petition itself afterwards, and which would be just so good to have up. And my email address I'm a little, probably best not to give that out at the moment.
They can contact us through the Community Heart page or the Paul, Mark and the Tech Guy Facebook page. Really put your comments here. We've got the YouTube station going. Hopefully we've got other things going. You can find us all here. Keen to have more comments, though. I love the comments we've had so far from Lani and Stuart. That's great. Still waiting to hear a bit of advice from Milton Wild and anyone else out there listening. And get some advice going out there. Now, Paul, you run a great little show on a Friday night, the jazz show there, the cool jazz, mate. Are you going to get behind this on your jazz program, mate, or what?
Mate, absolutely, 100%. Let's bring it about. Let's push it to our committee as well here at 98.9, and let's see, mate. Can we do a voiceover for you? I mean, maybe there's a community. We can put like a little ad up there for you and sort of push it around.
Well, Graeme, Paul runs one of the highest rating shows on the station on a Friday night. It's really above all the other shows, highest rating. So now you've got his support from his other, the jazz program on a Friday night. Fantastic, mate. We've got Stephen Kane, Paul.
We do indeed, mate. Let's just bring it up here. Good on you, Stephen. Great to see you. What's Stephen saying? Graeme, thank you for your passion. And never give up. We need you. That's awesome, mate.
Thanks, guys, and thanks, listeners. Greatly appreciated.
Romper, go
That's
Romper,
what you
mate.
need, Graeme, isn't it? You can't give up, mate. You can't give up, which I know you're not going to give up because we do need you. There's no doubt about that. It's a great comment by Mr. Stephen Kane. He's the sort of guy that doesn't give up either, isn't he, Paul?
Exactly, mate. And look, let me just say this. In 1 minute, we're going to go to the top 7 reasons. We're going to go to top 7 around 7 and the reasons why people need to sign the petitions. And I think it's perfect. We're asking for people to get involved. What do we need to do? And after that, Graeme, I'm going to ask you, there's 2 things you need. You come back and give us the top 2, and I'm going to put it up on the screen, put it out there at Facebook, and then we'll put it on the air.
All right. Well, just in the last 60 seconds, Paul, anyone's got any other comments, quickly make a comment because we'd love to hear from you. And we'd just love a little comment, like summary comment from you, Graeme, now, just about the community petition. What's the next step, mate? What's the next step? What are we doing? Mate?
Okay, the next step is we escalate further. We do have an interview coming out at the start of October in the West Sider. All right, there will be a detailed interview coming out. Watch out for that. We'll also have an article in the local Cairnlea Community News, which is also digital. We'll release information in regard to that. We have had ongoing support from Brimbank Star Weekly and their gun reporter, Sam Porter, and I'm expecting that there will be further articles that come out. We'll be releasing all of that information, and we're also a plug for Sam Muscat, who runs a little show on Tuesday morning called The Vibe between 8 and 10 on Wyndham FM, winfm.org.
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic, mate. That's great. And keep your comments coming all through the show. We're here to 8 o'clock at night on Paul, Mark, and the tech guy. Obviously, we got Paul and Mark here. The tech guy will join us hopefully before 8 because we're looking forward to hearing from him. And I'm sure he'll sign the petition as well. We're going to really try to push this up from 800 to 10,000 listeners, signatures on this great petition. And we will put the link to the petition, Graeme, on our sites. Anywhere else they can find more information about you, mate? How else would someone else find you? Got your own Facebook page, or how do people get in touch with you?
Yes, I have. We do have a Facebook page, and the Facebook page is actually, if people type in Cairnlea Petition, it should take them to the actual page, and they can actually add comments on there. What we're also seeking, by the way, is we're actually seeking for people to identify influencers, people that are significant in their own communities as well, because listeners, this is a whole of community. This just isn't about the Aussies or anything like that. This is about every single community that's part of Cairnlea. We're all in this together. So
what you're asking, Graeme, is what I've done. I've introduced you to a major influence. Paul Curry runs a major show on radio, and he's influential out in the community. He's out and about talking to people, having influence. And people ask him for his advice. They read Paul. They say, Paul, what do you think? And so now we've told him he's going to be out there telling people about this petition. That's what you want, isn't it, Graeme?
Correct. Absolutely. You bet. And we've also got great alliances with people like Reverend Tim Costello, the chief spokesman for the Alliance for Gambling Reform. Tim's a personal friend and a brilliant man, absolutely brilliant man.
He's up there with Paul. I reckon he's up there with Paul, probably about equal with Paul Curry. But you know, and are you? Paul? I'm just asking you. Could you ring Jacinta for us, or not?
Mate, you're having dinner with him next week, aren't you? So how about we just...
No, well, you know it better than me, mate. And Elbow, I probably can't ring him, mate. You can't ring him at the moment because he's overseas. But I know you've got a hot phone to all these people, mate.
Hotline. On that point, coming up, top 7 at 7 will be right. Stay tuned, sit back and relax here with Graeme and Mark here on the Paul Marketing Tech Guy. Tech Guy's coming up soon, but stick around. Top 7 at 7.
Just quickly, what about Stephen Kane's comment?
Sorry, Mark, what was that? Top 7 at 7.
I was just wondering about Steve's comment, and Milton's made a comment, not the comment I was wanting. But
here we go. All right, we'll come back to it. Let's just do this top 7 at 7.
Yep. All right.
Here, fantastic here with Graeme Blore, Mark Watt here on Paul Marketing Tech Guy, talking about petitions. The top 7 reasons why people should sign these petitions. So get ready. And whilst we're doing it, Graeme, if you could flick me the link on comments for the petition web link and also your Facebook page, and I'll put it up here on the whilst we're chatting. A little bit after this. But top 7, number 1 is amplifying your voice. So why would you sign a petition? It's amplifying your voice, giving you a voice. Yeah, getting behind it. And we'll come back to these comments that have come through. Fantastic. Number 2 is raising awareness. Why are we doing petitions? Why is Graeme Blore and the Cairnlea petition, why are we making some noise around it? Because we're raising our voice. We want to raise awareness. Yep. Is that right, Marcus?
For sure, we've got to raise awareness, mate, and raising our voice is very important. And so if you feel no one listens to you, well, here you go. Sign Graeme's petition.
And I love what Graeme was saying. It's not just about, this right here, or that person or this person. It's about the community benefits across the board, holistically. Yeah. Okay, number 3, top 7 reasons why people need to sign a petition is advocating for change. All right, so it's a form, it's a way that we're going to say we want change in the local community, yeah? So get behind it, get behind Graeme and his team, and get behind the Cairnlea petition there. Number 4, holding decisions and making accountable. So basically, we're holding the community, we're holding the council, we're holding all these people, have a sense of accountability, Graeme, yeah? Can't just let it win and go, okay, well, they're not going to give us the right, we'll move on. No, we've got to stand up with a voice. We've got to stand up.
Well, Paul, is it true or not? They're the politicians who run the council, the state government, the federal government, they're here because we put them there, and they really should want to hear from us because we are the community.
5,000%, mate, and this is the whole point, Mark, is that we've put them into Parliament, so they need to listen, and they're not listening to the voice of the people. They're making their own decisions. They need to stand up and they need to stop for a minute and go, I'm going to listen to Graeme and the community and go, yep, okay, there's merit here, and how can we do it? Or at least negotiate. Come to a table and negotiate, yeah? So it's about making people accountable for who they are and why we've given them the positions they've got, yeah? Number 5, influencing public opinion. So why do we, why are the reasons why it's so important that people get behind a petition is to influence public opinion. So if you get 10,000, Graeme, what does it say to council? What does it say?
I would say that both to council and to the state government, because if we do get 10,000 signatures, our sponsor will actually be able to table this in Parliament, and our understanding is it will be open for debate. So what I'd say to council, state and federal government is this: they are servants. You are public servants. You are actually beholden to us, not the other way around. And we can change things. The power of the people to ballot box is an incredibly powerful thing. There is a state election happening next year, possibly near the end of next year. We will be highlighting this issue because, frankly, we're sick and tired of empty promises. We're sick and tired of the West being treated like a basket case with the crumbs that the East takes for granted, and the blatant vote buying by having the suburban and the southeast suburbs, which are, surprise, surprise, the swinging seats of Melbourne, is an indictment when the rest of Melbourne is in crisis. And in the West, frankly, we do have a crisis right now.
Mate, I agree with you, mate, Graeme. We're sick of it, mate. We want change. That's why we're going to sign petitions. We're not changed. We want to be heard. We want to get this issue out here. And even Milton's on board now. He wants to find out that Facebook page because he wants to support you, Graeme. So what's that Facebook page again for Milton Wild?
Yeah,
we'll bring it up for you, Milton. Thanks, mate. Yeah. And sorry, just on that point. So number 6, Graeme. Number 6 is promoting, and people watching today, thank you so much for joining us. Paul Market Tech Guy, Graeme Blore, Mark Watt, myself, Paul, in the room. Tech Guy may be here. Is promoting accountability. So we talked a little bit about that, making marketers accountable, holding decisions, promoting accountability, yeah? And number 7, the top 7 reasons why people need to sign a petition in the top 7 on our show back here in September, exercising your democratic right. So if we have a democratic right to voice, well, they have the right then to stand up and sign a petition and support what we believe is right for us as a local community. So that's our top 7.
No, good top 7, Paul. Well done. Research.
Graeme.
And
fantastic. And I've just sent the link across to you, gentlemen, the link to the Facebook page as well.
All right, beautiful, mate. Let me just put that up there.
Yep, you guys will have that there as well.
Top 7s are coming up around the corner. We've got Mark's rant a little bit next. We don't need to go for that, but we'll probably, obviously, maybe people aren't signing petitions right now, mate, because it's busy. It's final period, the final footy. Graeme, are you a football supporter or is there?
Die-hard Essendon trash.
Right, man. Jeez, what's going on?
We're talking about that.
What happened with Father?
Oh, mate. Let's put Stephen Kane's comment up because he likes that we're dealing with these issues tonight, and I think it's really good that we've got Graeme Blore on. Very privileged to have Graeme on.
Yep.
Thanks, Mr. Romper.
Thank you, Paul and Mark, for bringing real issues where we can make a difference together, and that's so true, mate. We can do it together as a group. It's not one man. It's not one man's fight, but it's a group. It's a group, yeah, community group. Good old mate, Milton. Great to see you, mate. Airbus Elbow. Well, is that a new airline? Is it, Mark? I love his.
We want Milton's advice, mate. He's giving us no advice. What's he giving us?
Coming up,
Milton. Give Graeme some advice. There's a paragraph on
it. Right about that. How's the sentiment at the moment? It's just shocking, absolutely shocking. I'll put up this banner. This is the Facebook link. Give me a minute, and whilst we're doing that, here we go.
Yeah, no, it's Graeme, it's so great to have you on the show tonight, mate. And we're right behind you here. Here's the Facebook page there. It's quite an interesting
bit challenging there to bring that up, but I'll post it, and also the petition link. So people can get behind it and start sending it across to all their mates and friends and stuff like that within that area and getting behind signing that petition. So that's great.
And incidentally, for anyone in Victoria who recognises where there's social injustice and inequity, anyone in Victoria can sign this. And this is a chance. Remember, you do not have to be 18 to sign an e-petition in Victoria, except you must have a Victorian residential address. So I want to say to the young people in this community, particularly in Brimbank, your opportunity right now to actually have a say, to get off your butt and to actually vote in the e-petition. Every single vote does count. And it's our community having a voice about our future. Future. It's our chance to have a say, and it's time we stood up.
Absolutely. And Graeme, what's the name of that Facebook page again? I know we put a few numbers up, but what's the name of it?
Yeah, the name of it is Cairnlea Petition. If people type in Cairnlea Petition.
Cairnlea. So it's CAIRN LEA petition.
I'll actually put it up here, Mark. Hang on.
I got it here, mate. I got it.
If we just need to put it.
Cairnlea petition.
Yeah,
it's up here, Graeme.
All right, that's the Facebook page. Put it in there. Encourage Graeme and the team. You've got a great little team helping you out. Is there a call out to any of the team members there, Graeme?
Yeah, gee whiz, I'd love to call everyone out in regard to it, Mark. And, I'll just say this, for all of you who are behind us and who fought with me for so many years, we've been fighting this now for 13 years because in its original form, Mark and Paul, they wanted to dump light industrial estate into a residential area where 5 years earlier they were promoting it as a leafy, beautiful place to raise a family. Then 5 years later, they wanted to dump light industrial. We fought that. We won. The then Minister Matthew Guy, to his credit, said it's no good like it is, and they had to go back and redesign it. They did, and yet they still ignored us. So what they've done is their planning of 840 lots is completely the opposite of what the community had requested in an online survey, a detailed online survey during the COVID era. And they've done exactly the opposite. We're saying, again, give us diversity of housing. That's how you do create community, but also give us community facilities.
Yeah, well said, Graeme. And I think just changing the subject a little bit, but you're getting me motivated to see if I could put a petition in, and I want your signature on my petition and Paul's as well, because I want to petition the Essendon Football Club. We got to put a petition against the Essendon Football Club. Zach Merritt's going, Draper's going, Ridley's going. We want the whole board should resign. I mean, this is terrible, terrible, terrible times at Bomberland. We're not going to jump off the sinking ship, but we need some better leadership. We need something going on there at Bomberland, because this is terrible. All our players want to leave. It's obviously crisis there at the Essendon Football Club, Graeme.
It is. Well, this is just in time, mate. Stick around for Mark's rant. Just watch this for a moment. And we're back.
Yeah, there's actually three things I want to talk about tonight. And the first one is obviously starting with Zach Merritt, the supposed captain of the Essendon football team. Look, I understand everyone wants to be in a premiership side. Everyone wants the glory. But what happens to people like Graeme? Been doing this petition for 13 years. 13 years you've been doing it for, Graeme, and you're still at it. You're not giving up. Why is our captain giving up on the Bombers? Why is he giving up for, Graeme?
Yeah, gee whiz, it's a good question, isn't it? And look, I understand and respect that people actually do want to have a chance for, premiership glory and things like that. But what I'd say to Zach Merritt, if he was listening, would be this. It's about the legacy you leave, and it's about how people regard you. And frankly, getting off a ship that's really at the moment floundering as the captain of that club does not put you into a good light. It's a really sad look. It's a terrible look, frankly. And I'm sad to see this take place. It takes enormous character to stay the course in a club that is struggling, but there's a hell of a lot of great players in football who have stayed the course.
That's right. And it wasn't that long ago he said on national TV that he's staying put. He's a Bomber, he's a captain of the Essendon team, and he's staying put. And then just a few months later, he's out. He's gone. It's just terrible behaviour and shocking. And we all can understand why in some ways, but he's the captain. He's committed. He signed a contract. Stay with the Bombers. It's going to be tough, but I still think that we probably need a new board. We need something to change, because obviously even with Zach Merritt, it's going to be it's tough there at Bomberland. But pretty upset about that today, Graeme and Paul. Paul, you're an Essendon supporter. You must be feeling the pain as well there, mate.
Feeling the pain, mate. Feeling the pain. I just guess there needs to be a restructure, a rethink, replan, and get back to grassroots again and go for it. And it looks like all of the top tier teams are all getting back to basics again and having to redo it. So you know what? Let's just cut the grass, do it, and make change. And let's see the Bombers in Bomberland be glorious in victory in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's a shame, but that's life. That's just what's going on out there. So
all right, mate. Now the second point tonight, and I'm pretty mad about this too, mate, is Daniel Andrews. Now what is he doing? It's really all about Daniel Andrews. How could he be standing with those other jokers he was standing with? I mean, going over there to China, not having to go to China, but standing with those two guys, Putin and that guy from North Korea, terrible, terrible, terrible to associate with them. What message is he giving, Graeme? What's that saying to the people of Australia, the people of Ukraine, the people around the world, having Daniel Andrews standing there, putting the Australian person there, supporting what they're doing? I mean, he wasn't thinking, was he? He couldn't seriously had really planned to make that sort of statement.
Yeah, that's correct, Mark. And look, I know there's going to be people who say, he's a private citizen, he's got the right to do it. Well, he is also the former Premier of this state for many years. And as such, he has been in a position of great power and privilege. Along with that comes moral responsibility And frankly, being seen in the company of people like Vladimir Putin, particularly at a time when the people of Ukraine are facing a massive bombardment into civilian areas from these drone attacks, which have absolutely ramped up within the last month, is absolutely despicable. He should be absolutely ashamed of himself if he had any moral conscience whatsoever. But clearly he thinks he's above and beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, and Putin's a war criminal. I mean, he'd be arrested in most countries. And the other bloke, Kim Jong, I mean, he is a madman. I mean, why would you get in a photo of those two blokes?
Yeah, exactly right, Mark. I mean, and history will judge people of that ilk very, very harshly for their misdeeds. And the fact that it's the most incredibly arrogant display of self-righteous, I can do anything I want behaviour that I've seen from a former politician. I think it absolutely reeks. It's disgusting behaviour.
And look, we do know that he gets money from over there in China. So, it is a bit self-interested, and we're paying his pension. And I just think it was a really bad act for the community. It's just terrible stuff. And, I think that we've got to make a stand against Dan. And look, I don't agree with Milton very often, but Dan is a traitor. I think that's right. I think I'm very, very disappointed about what he's done. And it's really, really bad. So I think that we should make a stand again. Another petition. We've got 3 petitions going tonight, Graeme. We've got the Cairnlea petition, and we want to get 10,000 signatures for that. We've got the Essendon in crisis petition. We're upset about that. We're upset about Daniel Andrews being with Putin and Mr. The guy from North Korea, a madman from North Korea. We're upset about that. That's the 3rd petition. And so what to be angry about tonight, Graeme?
Yeah, what angers me is politicians who actually don't listen and don't actually do what they are promised to do to the community. Politicians are there to serve the whole community, not just their own sectional interests. We're seeing that in Victoria and Melbourne's West. And now, as a result of this utter neglect of the West, we're seeing the repercussions of that with youth crime and violence going through the roof. Frankly, that is the epitome of more than a decade of neglect of the West. We have a public transport system that's third world. There's lack of opportunity, lack of jobs, traffic congestion is through the roof. The developers out in the West and also in other parts of Melbourne have seemed like they've had open slather to dump housing wherever they want, regardless of whether there was public transport to and from it. We've had the federal government drag its heels when the Western Highway, frankly, should have been quadrupled. A 4-lane each way highway with dedicated bus lanes. That should have been done 10 years ago, Mark. It's the second busiest highway in Australia for truck traffic, yet we've seen nothing from Albanese. Maybe he needs to get out of Sydney and get in the real world and actually support a community out here that is in crisis and those who are doing it tough.
Well, look, we're coming to the end of the show, Graeme, and really appreciate you coming on the show. I did want to sort of close the show with really sending my thoughts and prayers to the South Sudanese community.
Yeah,
deeply in my prayers and thoughts. It's a very we know about those 2 poor young people that were killed recently, but I heard today that there's been 9 or 10 deaths in the South Sudanese community in the last 2 weeks. That's just unbelievable, horrific, shocking. And if we want to write a petition, that's probably the number 1 petition that we could write tonight to the government saying, hey, enough's enough. How many South Sudanese kids do we need to bury before we see some action? And it's not action from guys like you and I, Graeme, and surely we'll support them, but they've got to hear from the community. They've got to involve the community. They've got to sit down with the community and say, look, we're here to resource you. We're here to support you. We're here to help. Let us know how we're going to do this, because no more. We don't want to go any more funerals. 9 or 10 deaths in 2 weeks.
Correct.
You just can't believe those sort of stats, And I just think it's unacceptable, and it's really got to stop. The government's got to stop and say, hey, this is a major, major issue in our community, And look, I know they're going up there to get Desi Freeman, 450 police. Yeah, understand that. That's terrible.
We're talking about
nine
or
11
uh,
Sudanese kids being killed. And I think that means we need 450 police, or we need that sort of resources, millions of dollars getting put into this, maybe more. This is a bigger issue than
Correct.
Desi Freeman, you know?
Correct. Yeah, our hearts go out to the whole community out there. They really are doing it tough. When you've got a situation where people are scared to leave their homes, to be outside after dark, you do have a community in crisis. Just today, we saw footage of a young person in Sunshine brandishing 2 machetes in the heart of Sunshine. It's not good enough. And frankly, we're sick of the weasel words from Jacinta Allen. We want action, and we need action desperately to address the sources, to address the root causes, and for something to be done about it, and not her weasel words, because frankly, it's all they've been.
No, we need real action here, and I feel for the Sudanese community, really do, and I just couldn't believe 9 to 10 kids killed in the last 2 weeks. It's just horrific, and so my prayers and thoughts go to all the Sudanese community, and we're here to help. We want to help, and we want government, federal, state, local, all people of all governments, all agencies. Hey, let's get behind the Sudanese people, but we need them to come up with a solution, allow them, listen to them, and we need to listen to them about they want, because it's not a simple fix. It's got to start preventative as well. We really do need to address this, and it's really serious. So look, we are going to finish the show on a bit of a heavy note, but I'm not apologizing for that, because these are real issues in our community that we're talking about tonight. And we want your support. We want you to advocate. And thanks for joining us tonight, Graeme. Thanks, Paul. And Tech Guy, I'm not sure where you are, but thanks, Paul, for what you've done. I know we've had a few tech issues tonight, but it wouldn't be the Paul, Mark, and Tech Guy show without tech issues. So we always got them for some reason. But we are trying to get out there and make a difference. Support Graeme with his petition, and support the other petitions we've got going tonight. And again, my prayers and thoughts go to the South Sudanese community. And please, government, please help, please. And thanks, Paul. Let's finish the show off. And thanks, Graeme, for joining us. Good on you, Graeme.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, listeners. See you all later. Thank you.